Remmers didn't finish. He hurt his back and came out, and then Charvarius Ward was cleared for his head. He was checked for that, and he was okay. Other than that, I'm glad to get the win and get out of here. Good football team. Brian's done a nice job with it, and players played hard and so on. Special teams, I thought, did a nice job today. Very nice job. Their special teams are one of the top in the NFL, and I thought our guys came out and really did well. And then Bucker finished up with a big field goal there. I thought the pressure on the quarterback was good. I thought the defensive line did some nice things with the run game and the pass game part of it. Really, until that fourth quarter, we had a pretty good thing going. And then we've got to finish. We got to finish on both sides of the ball. Make sure we take care of business there. Had a lot of yards, but we've got to take care of the ball. Too many turnovers, and can't do that against good football teams. And so I appreciated the effort the guys gave us, and I just thought that they bared down and did a nice job with it to finish it off in that fourth quarter. Anyways, time here.
Let's go first to Herbie T.O.P. Go ahead, Herbie.
Hey, Coach. 5 straight division titles now. What does that mean to you in that locker room, knowing that you've won 5 straight division titles? And you always preached parity, but 5 straight is pretty impressive.
Yeah, well, listen, it's been obvious they don't give those away. So they give the hats away, but they don't give these championships away. So I'm proud of the guys for that. We all know that we need to keep going. So it's a nice accomplishment by the whole organization. I mean, this just isn't one person or anything else. I mean, this is a whole organization from the Hunt family down to Mark Donovan and Brett Veach. I mean, everybody's had a piece of this. So, and we all know that we got to keep going and keep improving. So that'll be the goal going forward.
Let's go next to Adam Teicher. Go ahead, Adam.
Hey, Andy. This is the second time in 3 weeks you've had trouble defensively finishing out a game, counting the Tampa game. I was wondering if there's something you can put your finger on that's kind of a common thread there. And Brad, I'll have a quick follow-up too.
Yeah, well, I think, probably the primary thing is that we end up winning the game, which I don't want to lose focus on. They're a good football team, a playoff caliber team. So, and we could have helped out offensively too. So it was a team thing that we need to finish. And I'll take responsibility for that. I could have been more aggressive as a play caller and so on. So it starts with me, and that's where we roll.
All right. And also that fourth down you had on the final drive where you went for it and threw the pass to Tyreek. Was that a difficult decision, or were you thinking we're going for this the whole time?
We were going for it the whole time. Yeah. Yeah.
Let's go next to Sam Mellinger. Go ahead, Sam.
Hey, Andy, kind of a general question here, I understand, but the Dolphins defensively, it looked like, especially kind of in the middle part of the game, they were focused more on coverage than pressures. But anyway, I'm just curious what you saw with that and what gave you guys trouble, and also how you guys were able to break through against a good defense.
Yeah, listen, I tried to run the ball a little bit there, and they were zero blitzing, and I could have changed things up a little bit. That's my responsibility to do that. So they did a nice job. They just kind of went all in on it and came after us. And normal situations, you call some other things, but I should probably have done that.
Let's go next to Aaron Ladd. Go ahead, Aaron.
Coach, can you just put into context the year that Travis is having this year, 136 yards today? I feel like he's been Mr. Reliable when you all need him the most.
Yeah, he did. He's done a nice job. Like any game, there are things that he can do better. But I mean, let's not slight him. He's done great, and and he's loving every minute of it. He and the quarterback have a good relationship, so they're working it together. They have a lot of trust in each other.
Let's go next to Pete Sweeney. Go ahead, Pete.
Hey, Coach, congrats on the win and game plan. I wanted to ask you about Xavier Howard, 25 for them. How important, and I know he got you for one, but how important was it to find creative ways to maybe free up Tyreek Hill as far as you guys having success in that middle portion of the game?
No, he's one of the best corners in the National Football League. And that catch he made was phenomenal. We've seen him do it before. If you underthrow it an inch, it's just he can go up and do what he did. And he's playing as well as any corner in the National Football League right now. So, we had a couple and he got that one. So that was I like to have that one back.
Got time for a few more guys. We're going to start with Todd Lebo. Go ahead, Todd.
Hey, Coach. Patrick doesn't have days where he throws multiple interceptions very often. When you had him over there on the sideline, what's his, attitude like when he comes over? I imagine he's pretty even-keeled, but do those things affect him during the game?
No, I don't want him to affect him. I want him to keep firing. So just learn from it and let's go. If it was that, or was it a receiver, or was it the O-line, whatever it was, let's just learn, all of us. Let's learn from it and let's not let it happen again.
Let's go next to Sam McDowell. Go ahead, Sam.
Andy, kind of similar to what Pete asked earlier, but it seemed like they had some heavy concentration on Tyreek Hill. And I know you guys have seen that plenty this season and past seasons. What's sort of the balance, though, in wanting to get maybe one of your best weapons involved versus just kind of spreading out to what else is available?
Yeah, well, Pat does a good job of doing that. I mean, he spreads it around and gives everybody an opportunity. We've got good players, and he's willing to get it to them. So, and they did. They had a plan for him, for both he and Kelce. And, that's it's a tribute to Pat, though, moving people around and using his throws to other people.
We'll go last to Vahe Gregorian. Go ahead, Vahe.
Hey, Andy. Sort of also with regard to Patrick, I think he's played so remarkably, so consistently that I think it's easy sometimes for people to forget he's human. What does it say about him, though, that he can go through a stretch like that and then just kind of have the same sort of game he normally does?
Yeah. Well, it's a tribute to his greatness. So he works through it like anybody else, any other player. He's got to work his tail off to be great. And so I don't want to slight that part either. So he spends a ton of time at it. He works with his teammates. He's engaging with them. He's honest with them. He's honest about himself. He's honest about the guys that he's working with, and he brings it all together. So it's tribute to the kid.
Coach, we appreciate the time. Thanks for joining us.
Okay, thank you.
All right, guys. Up next, we've got our chairman and CEO, Clark Hunt.
There you go. All right. See you, Andy.
Yes. Be safe going home.
Hi, Clark. You ready for us?
Yeah, I sure am.
All right, we'll get started, and we'll start first. Would you like to open?
Yeah, I will. First of all, I want to congratulate the team today on beating a very good Dolphins team. But I also want to congratulate them on winning the division. It's a great accomplishment, 5th time in a row. One of our goals going back a decade or so was to build a team that could consistently compete for championships. And Andy and his staff have done a great job. Really like the guys' mentality, their resilience, their ability to win close games. Obviously, there's a lot still in front of us, but today was a big step.
We'll start first with Pete Sweeney. Go ahead, Pete.
Hey, Clark, thanks for taking some time. Going back to the decision to bring Andy here and what he's meant to the franchise in that scope and what he's accomplished. I know it's been a lot, but what do you think it would mean for the franchise? And again, I know there's a lot to it to repeat as Super Bowl champions.
Well, that's our goal every year. And, obviously we got over the hump last year and we feel like we have a team that's capable of doing that. That's been the focus of the season. But you can't look too far ahead. You've really got to focus on the games at hand. We have some really important games to finish the season. Obviously, the seeding will be important for what happens in the playoffs. And I think that's really where the focus is. But so glad that Andy has the team in the position they're in. 12-1, I think that's the first time in the history of the franchise that we've gotten to that mark. So congratulations again to the job Andy and his staff are doing.
Let's go next to Matt McMullen. Go ahead, Matt.
Hi, Clark. So you mentioned consistency. This is a similar question to what Pete asked, but how special is it that after winning the Super Bowl last year, they come back this season and they're not complacent? They go and win 12 out of their first 13 games and have a really good shot at winning another one here.
Yeah. Well, I think that's one of the biggest challenge that any champion has is complacency. It's easy to look back at what you accomplished last year and not focus on the task at hand. Andy and the team leaders have really done a good job of keeping the team dialed in. To get 12 victories, to this point, it's a tremendous achievement. It's been a year plus since the team's lost a game. Again, a credit to the guys and their focus. And the key now is to stay focused here over the balance of the season.
Let's go next to Adam Teicher. Go ahead, Adam.
Hi, Clark, and congratulations on another division title. I know there were days early in your time as the principal owner where you would have settled for one straight division title. Is this more than you realistically hoped for when you hired Andy? I know this was always the goal, but was this more than you really had a right to expect when you made the move with Andy and turned the franchise over like that?
Yeah, well, those things are hard to quantify. If you looked at Andy's success in Philadelphia, certainly in the back of my mind, I hope that we could replicate that. I think he's really achieved that and maybe taken it to another level. Clearly winning the Super Bowl this February in the stadium we're standing in today was a big step there. But Andy's done a tremendous job, and we're blessed to have him. We're blessed to have the pairing of he and Patrick Mahomes. I think the two are a great combination. They work so well together and really maximize each other's strengths.
Got time for a couple more. We'll go Nate Taylor and then Matt Derrick. Go ahead, Nate.
Hey, Clark, thanks for doing this. I know you're aware of what's going on in the league. With today's victory, this guarantees you a home playoff game. I'm just wondering what your thoughts are as other teams in other regions of the country are trying to figure out how to best have fans in the stands, and if the team, from your perspective at all, is reconsidering maybe how many fans will be available for your home playoff game.
Well, the decision on how many fans we have at Arrowhead is one that we discuss regularly with the city health directors. And we've already had those conversations. And our plan at this point is to have the same number that we've had throughout the season. Certainly we're going to continue to monitor the status of the virus and its prevalence in Kansas City. And, there could be changes coming. I certainly hope not. Today the Dolphins had approximately 13,000 fans in the stadium, and it brings a great atmosphere. And I want to give a shout out, by the way, to our fans. It reminded me a little bit of the Super Bowl when we had so many Chiefs fans down here in Miami. If you looked out from my seat, I saw a bunch of red jerseys. So kudos to our fans who made the trip.
We'll go last to Matt Derrick. Go ahead, Matt.
Hey, Clark, obviously, this franchise had a lot of great tight ends in its history and some guys that are in the Hall of Fame. But right now, Travis just seems to be playing on a whole different level. He's, was your Man of the Year nominee this year. What have you seen with Travis since he's joined your franchise and as a player and as a person off the field?
Yeah, well, Travis just walked into the room, so I'm going to enjoy answering this question. First of all, congratulations to the year that he's having, his success on the field, over 1,000 yards again, on pace to break a bunch of records. Getting that nod from Madden as a 99, tremendous accomplishment by him, and he's such an important part of the offense and the success that we've had really for all 5 years that we've won the division. But probably what I'm most impressed by has been his growth off the field. He's a leader in the locker room, but he's also a leader in the community, committed to making a difference in the communities in Kansas City and Ohio, for underprivileged families, underprivileged children. And I'm just so proud of everything that he's accomplished in that regard and everything that he's doing. And he's a very deserving nominee for the Walter Payton Man of the Year Award.
Clark, we appreciate the time. Thank you for joining us.
Yep. Thanks a lot.
All right, guys. I think we've got Travis Kelce coming up next.
Oh, you a big hug when I can.
Hey, Travis, you ready for us?
That was beautiful. What a guy, man. What a guy.
We'll start first with Pete Sweeney. Go ahead, Pete.
Hey, Travis, congrats on the win. I was wondering if you could break down your touchdown play, and was this one of these where you and Pat kind of were on the same page that we've talked about before?
Yeah, I mean, I felt the flow of the defense. The initial play didn't work out, but Pat's like we've seen in numerous occasions and numerous situations, Pat, when he's on the run, can make things happen that most quarterbacks can't. And that was just another prime example of that. Just me kind of finding the soft spot in the defense and Pat knowing exactly where to put the ball.
Let's go next to Harold Kuntz. Go ahead, Harold.
Travis, congratulations on the win. When I kind of saw on the television broadcast, Eric Bieniemy kind of brought you guys over and had a little conversation there. I know when some interceptions were thrown by Mahomes. What was going on in that conversation? How do you guys go from that point on and turn it around?
Well, I think Coach Bieniemy is one of the best in the league when it comes to keeping everybody together and rallying the troops, especially when we're self-inflicting ourselves, meaning that everything we're doing right now or at that point in time when you saw him gather everybody together, everything was kind of self-inflicted. And we just got to, go out there and be ourselves. Can't do too much. And we have a lot of guys that can make every play on the field. That is what it is. We have a lot of guys that can do that. And sometimes, we try and do one thing more than something more than who we are. And it's uncharacteristic. And, Coach Bieniemy does a great job of reeling us all in and keeping our composure.
Let's go next to Len Jennings. Go ahead, Len.
Hey, Travis, I know you kind of in jest at the beginning when Clark walked off the podium, but when you hear Clark talk about you, and Andy said some very great things about you prior to them, when you hear Clark saying those things, how do you really feel about hearing those things about you?
It's a blessing. I'm very fortunate to be a Kansas City Chief, and I've said it since the day that I've been here, and I've grown to know it even more since I've grown up in Kansas City over the past 8 years. I came in as a 23-year-old. I'm 31 right now. I think I'm 31. Yeah, I'm 31 right now, and I plan on playing here for the rest of my career, man. The people in this organization, they make you want to come to work every single day. It's fun, man. I enjoy coming to work, seeing Clark Hunt, seeing Mark Donovan, seeing Coach Reid's car never leave the parking lot because he cares about us so dang on much. And you know what, that type of situation gets you fired up and trying to take advantage of the opportunity that I have here in Kansas City every single day, both on and off the field. That's my goal.
Let's go next to Sam Mellinger. Go ahead, Sam.
Travis, I don't know what your guys' record is the last year and a half or whatever when you're down 10, but I know it's really good. I'm just wondering, can you compare sort of what it feels like, the conversations on the sideline now as opposed to, maybe a season or two ago? I'm just curious if there's a different kind of confidence since you guys have been through it so much.
There's definitely a certain level of confidence that we know what we're capable of, but I can't really say that hasn't, that's honestly, that's been there for a while now, for at least definitely for the past 3 years. We just have to, in situations like that, regrouping, gathering the troops and talking about it, and then putting words into action. It is what it is. How you're going to handle adversity? Are you going to start pointing fingers? Or are you going to, man up and just do what you can do to help the team win? And I feel like we have a lot of great characters, especially on the offensive side. And I mean, offensive defense, especially in this building, and offensively as much as what we can only control what we can control, and that's don't turn the ball over, penalties, keep the penalties out of our guys, and keep the ball moving forward. And sure enough, we got all the playmakers in the world to put the ball in the end zone.
We'll go last to Adam Teicher. Go ahead, Adam.
Hey, Travis, your first couple of years here, I think 3 or 4 years here, you made the playoffs most of the time. It didn't win the division. So I was wondering if you could put winning 5 straight now, AFC West championships, in perspective in terms of in that regard. And Brad, I'll have a quick follow-up if I could.
I mean, that's hats off to Coach Reid, Brett Veach, a guy that has helped put all these guys together here for the last, I don't know how many years. But we got a great group of guys, a great core group of guys that, our leadership is through the roof. And Coach Reid has set a culture that, it's something this guy, I can't even
what does that even say?
Coach Reid has set a culture to where we just get up and roll. And we have great leaders, like I said, in this locker room. And from there, it's just going out there and doing our job and putting the work in throughout the week so that Sunday we can just go out there and play. And I owe a lot of that to Coach Reid and Brett Veach for having the right guys in the building.
All right. And also a rough start for Pat in today's game, obviously, although he did rebound nicely. But what was he like, at the end of the first quarter or whatever? What was his demeanor? You see him get down at all? What was he like?
Well, I mean, I feel like you can't just throw that on him. There's 10 other guys out there on the field. I mean, we had a few tip balls. Yeah, that always, you try and avoid that, but at the same time, it's football. Guys are going to get their hands in the passing lane here and there, and the biggest thing is how are we gonna handle that, And I think Pat does it better than anybody in the league. Is when adversity hits, his level of play goes up, and we rally and we follow the leader on that regard.
Travis, we appreciate the time. Thanks for joining us.
All right.
I think Patrick's up next.
I couldn't even answer the question.
Hello. Let me take this towel off. Pretty hot down here in Miami.
It is.
Are you ready for us?
Ready to go.
All right. We'll start first with Aaron Ladd. Go ahead, Aaron.
Patrick, you just tweeted you have a love-hate relationship with the stadium down there in Miami. Describe that relationship for us.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, the love part. I mean, we've won the Super Bowl here, and we've just clinched the AFC West, and so it seems like every time we leave the stadium, we have a hat of some type of thing we've accomplished. But in the hate part, I feel like I have half my interceptions, it seems like, at this stadium. So obviously, a little bit of a joke. I mean, whatever way we win football games, I love it. But at the same time, it's just ironic that it had to be at the stadium.
Let's go next to Matt McMullen. Go ahead, Matt.
Hey, Patrick. I want to ask you about the fourth down play. Can you walk us through that play? And also, what's it mean to you that Coach trusts you to throw the ball in that situation?
Yeah, I mean, it just comes with the experience of being in those situations before. He knows I'm going to make the right decision. If it's there, I'm going to take it. If not, I'm going to try to find a way to make it with my legs or give someone else a chance. And so we go through that stuff every single game, preparing for those situations. And I think that's why we execute at a high level when we get put in those situations. And that was the play that we had kind of went over in the meeting the night before that we would like to go in that situation, and it worked out well.
Let's go next to Nate Taylor. Go ahead, Nate.
Hey, Patrick, I'm sure you're aware of the statistics, but 4-to-1 turnover ratio today, just what does it say about the pedigree and some of the composure about you guys winning today, even though you had 4 turnovers?
It says a lot about this football team in general. It talks about how it's not just an offense, it's not just a defense, it's not just special teams. We're a complete football team that finds ways to win in every single way. And you saw in that first half, I mean, it's 80-something degrees outside, and I'm putting the defense back on the field over and over again, and they're finding ways to get stops and keeping us in that ball game so the offense can get going. And so it just shows that we have a veteran group of guys that really understand that we just have to make sure that we keep each other accountable and keep playing for the guy next to you, and we can find ways to win football games.
Let's go next to Vahe. Go ahead, Vahe.
Hey, Patrick. Of course, you have times where you throw an interception or something goes wrong, but you've really rarely had like a series of things happen, kind of like it did in that first quarter. And I just wonder how you get angry. Do you get determined? What is it that kicks in? Because obviously you had something to shrug off there.
Yeah, I mean, I think obviously you get angry. You don't want to turn the ball over and put your defense in that situation. At the same time, I have the ultimate confidence in the guys around me that we're going to keep battling and find ways to win football games. And kind of like I said, our defense kept us in the game. They kept getting stops whenever they were just on the field. It seemed like the entire first quarter. And then all of a sudden we were leading at halftime. And I feel like this team plays better when their back's up against the wall, and that's a good thing to have about a football team.
Let's go next to Therese Paylor. Go ahead, Therese.
Hey, Patrick, congrats on the win, man. Quick question for you. I know when you come off the field, you're focusing on getting your offense together, going over strategy with the coaches and your teammates. But I'm curious if you were able to watch any of Tua at all. What are your impressions of him so far in his career? And also kind of the competitiveness of the Dolphins as they kept fighting and staying in this game.
Yeah, I mean, they're a well-coached football team. They have a lot of guys that love to compete, and they're going to fight until the very end. And you've seen that on film week after week. And so it's a good football team that'll probably be in the playoffs, and a team that will be a hard team to take out in the playoffs. And so for us, we just continue to get better and better. And then as far as with Tua. I think he's that I kind of talked about it earlier this week, but that veteran mindset, you can see that when they were down in that game, he didn't try to force it. He just took what was there and moved the ball down the field and found a way to get the game close. And so he's going to continue to learn more and more, continue to get better and better. And it's a bright future for the Miami Dolphins. Just hopefully not too bright.
We got time for a couple more guys. We'll go with Sam and then Adam. Go ahead, Sam.
Hey, Patrick, it really seemed like the Dolphins had a concentration on Tyreek Hill today. And I know you've seen a lot of teams that have done that, but what were you seeing from their defense? And does it give you an extra sense of satisfaction when you still are able to beat a double team like you were on that 44-yard touchdown?
Yeah, I mean, you said it. I mean, there was a lot of double teams, a lot of safety over the top of them, and then they have a great corner in Xavier Howard on him as well. And so I'm still going to trust him to make plays. I'm going to throw it whenever he gets the opportunity. And I mean, I think it's more about him knowing that he's getting kind of taken out of the offense, of still just maintaining and continue to work. And then all of a sudden he has a jet sweep for a touchdown and a big play for a touchdown. And it's him being a veteran and knowing that we're going to get him the ball in some way if he continues to work. And he did a good job of that today.
I'm going to go last to Adam Teicher. Go ahead, Adam.
Hey, Patrick, you don't know anything but AFC West championships since you've been with the Chiefs, but it hasn't always been that way in their history. You take a minute, understanding you have bigger goals. You take a minute to appreciate this championship and what you guys have accomplished the last couple of years?
100%. I mean, I've been lucky enough to be brought into an organization that's been able to win the AFC West every year I've been here, but I still appreciate it every single time. I mean, these things don't come easy. You have to battle every single offseason. You have to battle every training camp. During the season, you go through adversity. So you have to really appreciate winning the AFC West. We'll enjoy it probably for the flight over back to Kansas City, and then we get to play the New Orleans Saints next week, who's a great football team. And so we'll have to move on fast and continue to go out there and just compete and find ways to get better going into the playoffs.
Patrick, we appreciate the time. Thanks for joining us.
Thank you.
All right, guys. I believe we've got Tyrann stepping up next. Hey, T.
Yo, what's up?
You ready for us?
Yes, sir.
All right, we'll start with Aaron Ladd. Go ahead, Aaron.
Hey, Tyrann, you said before the season that you dropped way too many interceptions last year. I guess you're catching them this year, huh?
Oh, yeah, just trying to catch the ones that's, catchable. Yeah, just trying to look at it, man.
Go next to Blair Kirchhoff. Go ahead, Blair.
Hey, Tyrann, the defense has had its moments during the year, but you guys came up with 4 sacks, your pick, the safety today. Does the defense feed off of big moments like that?
I think in the end, it's all about the end result, whether or not we won the game or lost the game and, how we played, in regards to that. I felt like, defensively, we kind of let the team down in a way, giving up, obviously 17 points, I believe, in the fourth quarter. Obviously that's a well-coached football team, young quarterback, with a bright future. But I think anytime, we have the opportunity to kind of, close the coffin on teams, we gotta do that. We're getting into January, football, and, a lot of these games are going to come down to whether or not we could finish the game defensively. So I think that's really, my focus, so I think we'll be a motivated group, this week.
Let's go next to Hannah Bassam. Go ahead, Hannah.
Hi, Tyrann. Congrats on the win. I'm thinking, I know as an organization, the Chiefs are really focused on achieving success this season, but do you ever reflect on how by playing football the way that you do and by being a role model for our community, you really have the power to bring positivity and hope and even a sense of normalcy to our community and our region during these difficult times?
Yeah, I think obviously that's a great responsibility. One that I don't take, lightly. I know my teammates feel the same way. And, I think, being a part of this team, we're all about community. We're all about the people around us. We're all about family. And that's where we're going to kind of continue to push. And so I know my teammates feel the same way.
Let's go next to Herbie Teope. Go ahead, Herbie.
Hey, Tyrann, 5 straight division titles. You've been a member of at least the last 2. What does it mean to you and also to your teammates knowing that you've accomplished this?
Well, I think it just says a lot about our coaches, the organization and, all the things that they've invested, into this program. And obviously the players, believing in that, they're divisional champion type players, conference champion type players. And so I think really, it's just about the group, everybody, believing in the people around them. And but wow, it's such a great standard. Not every team can say that they've done that consistently. So hats off to, the Hunt family, Coach Reid, Brett Veach, all those people that, play those critical roles.
Got time for a couple more guys. We're going to go Matt, Derek, and then Pete Sweeney. Go ahead, Matt.
Hey, Ty, this was obviously a pretty tough game. I mean, there was a little pushing and shoving on both sides. And maybe it looked like there was a hit that you took early that kind of got you fired up. What was kind of going on in the field? I mean, was there a little bit of jawing and pushing back and forth between you guys?
Nah, this is football, man. This is like the highest level of competition, right? Like every player is important and every rep is going to get coached. And, you never want to be that guy that's not showing the fight, So obviously coming into this game, we knew it was going to be a fight, well-coached team, great defense, got playmakers on offense, young quarterback that's going to be really good in this league. So we knew we were going to get those guys' best shot. It's all about just standing up for the fight. I thought my teammates did that. Obviously, I thought we finished the game well. We didn't play too well in the fourth quarter. But, yeah, it's all about showing fight, no matter if you're a champion or you're a contender. It's all about showing that fight. So, and I think my guys showed that today.
We'll go last to Pete Sweeney. Go ahead, Pete.
Hey, Tyrann, congrats on the win. We always look at you as one of the leaders of the locker room, and we know you guys didn't have Damian today, and Willie Gay being a top pick with some of that pressure. How have you seen him develop, and how did you feel like he rose to the occasion today?
He's a mature young man. I'm so impressed with him and, really his character. Not everything has gone his way this season. Pretty sure he would, wanted to be, a day one starter, but he's kept his head down. He's always prepared in meetings, coaches calling on him. He always knows what to do. He always knows the answer. And I think that's all you can ask for, from a young player, is a guy that's just committed to the team. And I think Willie shows that, each and every week. And, it's going to take for guys like me and Chris and Frank and, Hitchens to step up and continue to encourage him. Because I truly believe at some point in the season, he's going to make some big plays for us. And he's going to be one of those guys we lean on, especially going forward.
Tyrann, we appreciate the time. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
All right, guys, that is it for today. We will talk to you guys Monday. Coach will do his noon presser. I believe you already have the link for that, but that'll be the next time we see y'all. Thank you, guys.